talk about them. So methods, why methods? First of all, we can build our more complicated programs piece by piece, okay? And we can check, like we're gonna do today, whether or not every piece works, okay? So we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at debugging, of course, as part of that, modularization, where every, instead of putting all of our code into one large area like the main, we're going to take it and break it down into the parts, and so that each part of our program or each method does one thing and does it well. Okay. Again, helping us with the debugging as we go thing. Nothing worse than building a whole program and then decide to run it and oops, it don't work. Well, what doesn't work? Where do I start? That kind of thing. And then, of course, reusability. In the real world, nobody's going to pay you to rewrite. Let's say that you have, you're working for somebody and you write a program for the tensile strength of the steel on the McCluggage Bridge. You know, how heavy duty does the steel have to be? And then, let's say a year later, you get an assignment to write a program to calculate the tensile strength on the Cedar Street Bridge or the Bob Michael Bridge. Well, your boss is going to say, well, where's the code you wrote for doing the other bridge, you know, a year ago? Pop that into your program and you should be good to go, okay, with minor modifications or whatever. So a lot of advantage to modularizing or creating methods that we can reuse over and over. Usually, or a lot of times, you'll have a special type of method called a function. And functions return values. They return, in Java, we return one function or one value from a function. That's all it can return is one. If it doesn't return anything, then it's basically a method. Like our main is a special type of method, okay? And methods that don't return anything are usually of the data type void, okay? If you have a data type that has anything but void as its data type, because methods have data types just like variables do, then those are voids, okay? And then finally, we'll talk about sending arguments to we're going to create parameterized methods that have where we have to supply arguments to fill those parameters when we call that method. So that's what we're going to kind of work on today. Looking over the assignments this week, of course, let's see if I'm on the right one here. Yeah. So we got sum of digits. So you're going to, what you'll do is you'll type in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as one number, no spaces. And it'll tell you that those add up to 15. Okay. I think that's the one. It's either that one or let's see, is it the other one? No, yeah, that's the one. And then temp converter is just like your former temp converter, except this time I want you to break it down into methods. And like you'll have a menu and if you choose one, it'll take a Fahrenheit number and change it into Celsius and Kelvin. If you type in a 2, it does the Celsius to Fahrenheit to Kelvin, et cetera, et cetera. And then, again, be careful. I will guarantee you, even though I'm going to say this again today, that some of you will misspell Celsius by putting a C where that first S goes. Or you'll spell Fahrenheit wrong by missing the H. It happens. I warn about it every semester. I warn about it every class. And sure as heck, somebody will spell it like this down here. Again, if I'm going to buy your program, if you're selling me a program, and I go in there and there's a bunch of misspelled words, what kind of assurance am I going to think I have that you're going to write my program right if you can't even spell right? So if you're not a good speller, look them up. Use spell check. You open up a Word document and type your words in there and let it spell check them for you.
Have you posted those on the Blackboard yet? I don't see it.
I can't see it either.
You can't see these?
I was just going to say that too. Yeah. Your Unix class posted this week, but this one didn't.
Why is that? Hang on. Am I in the right? I'm in the wrong one. Hang on. That's lovely. I must not have turned. I set it up, I know, and I didn't turn it on. Somebody should have emailed me before now. Not to blame you guys, because it's my fault. But the dates are right. See, I went in and changed the dates. I must not have hit the... Okay, so this is you guys. Sorry about that.
It's up there now.
All right. And this is the one we're going to do in class today. This one right here, this travel expense application, okay? Who's got crickets? Somebody's got crickets. So we got that. And so I think we'll start by doing that one. We should be able to knock it out. The other thing I don't understand a lot is some of you, not all, but there's always a few. I create these videos and people won't turn in this. Believe me, I'll do this, take the time to do this. And we'll have people that don't turn them in. Or they'll turn them in and they'll be wrong. Even though there's an hour-long video on how to do it right. So I don't know how to explain that, but maybe you guys can sometime to me. But again, for the most part, you guys are doing really well. All right, new project. Of course, it's an ant. And we've got...
I don't think your screen should.
You're not.
Oh my God, today, what am I doing here, right? Better?
There we are.
See, I get carried away. I get so excited, you guys. Okay, let's call it the Acme travel calculator or something. All right. So we got that. Create it. Hang on a second. I got a wife that's making a bunch of noise. Okay. Those wives, they always make noise. Okay, so we have project is the Acme travel calculator. And this, we're getting towards one of these days, believe me, you're going to use this in your programs, is the Acme travel calculator. .java, and the date today is 10/13, and the author today is me, and the purpose, a program to accept days and miles traveled and calculate the amount of reimbursement. Based on a set of constants. And then let's go, I'm going to go over to the page with the, and I'm just going to copy these. Come back to my program. Control V those in there and then move them over nicely with this device here. Something like that. So I have them readily available. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean up down here. Indent a little more. I like that indent to be where I can see it clearly. And move that down. And then tab that in and get rid of it. All right. Well, it says I'm going to accept days and miles from the user, apparently. So I know right off the bat that I'm going to have to import a scanner. Okay. And because I'm modularizing this, I am going to need the scanner in several of my methods. So I'm going to declare it out. Let's see, where do I even want to put it? In the class, but outside my main. So I'm going to have a private static final scanner, and I'm going to just name it con in, is assigned a new scanner of the type system in. Now I can use that in any method. Again, if I declared a scope inside of here, I couldn't use it in my other methods. And again, it's a matter of scope. You put something in here, it's only good inside of it. If you put something in here, it's good in everything that's inside of it. Okay. All right. So we got that right away. Now, so let's set up our outside loop. So this is going to be a do and an enter there. And then this will be, I need a variable. And I'm going to call it, let's see, it'll be a char called keep going. And so, I know I'm going to set it to a queue. And again, it's a char, it gets a single quote, capital Q, because I'm going to convert whatever I get into an uppercase letter. And this will be while keep going is not equal to a Q. And right away I can test this. It should just quit because I don't have my incrementation in there yet. So it should come up, run, and quit. There we go. So that works. Now later on, we'll put our, or here shortly, we'll put in where we're going to make it so it increments. All right. So then the next thing I want is I want to show some type of menu. And so I'm going to say, keep going is assign the value on in, what do I want to call it here? Let's see. set menu or something like that. I use sets, and the other ones are gets. Later on, again, as we go through this, you will see that when we set something, we're putting a value into a variable. When we get something, we're displaying or using that variable in a way that we have to go get it. So we set them and we get them. And later on, they'll be called setters and getters in your programs. So now I declared here, you got a red line, that there's got to be a method down here called set menu. So we'll go here, and it's going to return a char. So it's got to be a char itself. So set menu, something like that. And then it'll be private, static, char, set menu. And then we design our menu. So I'm going to do a system.out.print and something like /n. I want a line feed. Then I want a banner of some type. And that'll be Acme Travel Calculator. And I want a line feed. And then I want, let's go tab in. And I'll make the C one of the calculate, one of the /n. And then we'll have a /t. It'll be, let's go test. Okay, /n. That's right. And then, of course, our Q for quit. And then I think that'll be okay. All right. And then we'll go ahead and give ourselves a variable, char choice, let's call it. And that'll go right down here. Choice will be assigned. Con in. Next. Oops. I hit the wrong. To upper. Char at. That'll be a char at 0. Want the first letter of whatever they type in. All right, so that's okay. But what if they don't type a C, T, or a Q? Well, we're going to go over here, do a do. Come down here and put in while choice is not equal to AC, or choice is not equal to, excuse me, a T, or choice is not equal to a Q. Okay, let's close that off. And then we'll come up here and give them the bad news. If system dot out, this all should be indented too. Dot print line. Oops, that ain't what I want. If, come down here and copy this. Pop it in here. I'm getting that error there, but, oh, there. Now system out dot print line only C, T, or Q are valid entries. Re-enter choice. Something to that effect. This little part here again. Whoop, that's nice, Doug. The if statement, that's so they know what they did wrong. I mean, this would have worked without it, but then they would be going, well, why am I keep coming back to see the menu? Okay, so we tell them here in a warning on why they're getting kicked out. So now that returns up here, we're going to make sure that it works. So we're going to put a, system.out.println. And just keep going in here. And we'll see if it works. Oops, that ain't where it goes though. It goes down here. No, D. Oh, that looks like that now. And we can go ahead and save it and run it.
Do we need a return?
Oops, yeah, you do. Thank you.
Do we need a, underneath the only CT and Q, do we need the .next?
Next.
Like, so they can re-enter their choice?
No, it's just going to kick you. It'll keep you right in here.
Okay.
It's just going to, instead of doing it there, it's going to come back up to the top and show you the menu again.
Okay.
Or that's my hopes anyway. How's that sound? Yeah, I need to return a value, right? Because it is a function. So now I should be okay, I think. So there we go. So I type in A. It says, wait a minute, only CTQ are valid entries. Re-enter your choice. Menu comes back up. I type in a C. And what happened there? Yeah, it goes back because it would kick you back in. I type a T. I go back, kicks me back in. I type a Q and it should quit. And why didn't it quit function? That's weird. Okay, I got something wrong. Keep going while keep going is not equal to Q. Did anything come back? Hang on. Why do I keep getting an error here? Only Q. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. We got something wrong in my code here. Something silly. Oh, these should be ands. And it should work much better. Okay, so I need to stop my program. And now, that logic, it'll kill you every time. Do a Q now. It quits. But why am I getting, oh, because I didn't change it up here. So this should be and. This should be and. But see, we had a little glitch here, and we're going to be able to fix it. That now, if I type a C, I don't get a warning. If I type a T, I don't get a warning. If I type an A, I get a warning. And if I type a Q, it quits. So that's how it should look. So this needs to be an and here, an and here, and an and here for it to work correctly. All right. So if you're following along, you should be able to run your program up to this point. All right, and then let's see here. So we got that. So the first thing we need to do is get how many days, okay? So I'm gonna have a variable called int days. That's pretty easy. Is equal to set days. So I'm going to scroll down here. Underneath this one, this method or function, I'm going to go ahead and put in my, it's going to be an integer called set days. Integer function, it's going to return a value. And it's going to be a private, a static, int, set days. There's no argument, so that's just blank. And now we'll have tab system.out.print, enter the number of days something to that effect. Enter the number of days of the trip. I guess that's okay. And so here we're going to have our while not con in dot has next int. Okay. And we'll enter that. And let's see. Let's limit the trips to 1 to 31 days. So anything more than that, they need special dispensation from the Pope. All right. So here we're going to say dot out dot print line copy that. Paste it in here. So can you tell I live by a fire station?
Yep.
And then next. And then we'll go up here. Move this up there. Da, 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 da. And then this will also be a do. We'll indent this some more. And then do in there. Let's see. So that goes there, that goes there. Outside the do, we'll say num days. And then down here, we'll come in here and say num days is assign the value from con in next int, like that. And our while loop will be while, we'll keep looping while num days is less than 1 or num days is greater than 31. Then we'll return num days. But let's see, what else do we need to do? Oh, we need a warning. And we'll copy this. There. So now we're returning num days back up to the top. So now we can go ahead here and say plus, we'll put a space in there. This is just for testing again. And then we can put, see if we're getting anything back. Days. And then we can save and run it. So now if I pick C, it says enter the number of days for the trip. So I type in the letter A. It says, nope, that ain't right. Re-enter the number. If I put in a -1, nope, number of days has to be between 1 and 31. Type in 32, nope, can't do that. Type in 1.5, nope, can't do that. If I type in 10, it says right here, you can see it returned, we did a C for calculate, and we got our 10 in. So that's what we want. So now I can type a Q and it should quit. Oh no, not this again. All right, so what I need to do here is go ahead and close this. And I got to come up here because we never, the queue is going to stop, okay, it's going to keep going here. So here, what we're going to do is if keep going is not equal to a queue, then we want to do this stuff. Otherwise, we don't want to do it over again. So we'll move it in here. Put that inside of there. And now, let's try it again. So I do the C, takes me over here, I type in 10 days, and then it says, what is my choice? I type Q, and it quits. So now it works. I'm missing a space somewhere. Let's see, right here. There should be a space. All right, so now I've got the number of days. Now I need the number of miles. So I'm going to say int miles is assigned set miles. Come down here. Now, this time, I'm going to just copy this whole thing up to there. Control C it. Then I'm going to come down here. Enter, Control V. And I have an exact copy of the one up above. All right. And so this will become set miles. This will become set miles. This becomes number of miles. So this can be through 0 through, we'll say 1,000 miles. Entry must be an integer between 0 miles and 1,000. And then this can be 0 number of miles. This can be 0 to 1,000. And again, this is number of miles. This becomes a number of miles. This becomes a 0. This becomes num miles. This becomes 1,000. This will get a number of zero to 1,000. Same thing down here. Should become miles. This becomes a 0. This becomes miles again. This becomes 1,000. And this becomes num miles. So it should look like that. So pretty much what we were looking at previously up in the set days, they're pretty much the same with the changes of the wording for the most part and the variable name. Okay, so then we can come back up here again, and then this time we'll just go over here and add on another space. And we'll have miles here. And hopefully it will run right the first time. If not, we know where to start our debugging at. So it can be that. So we'll just put 10 days. Number of miles driven, -1. Nope. How about the letter A? Nope. How about 1,001? Nope. How about 100.5? Nope. How about 100? Yep. And then we can quit the program. All right. So now we have all of our inputs. Okay. All right. So we got our days and miles. And if we look up here, that's what was supposed to be entered. So we're going to go ahead here and we will say int. Oh no, it's a double. Oh, let's just make it amount is equals set amount. But this time we need to know how many days and how many miles were expended. So I have to send that down as an argument to the parameters of our set amount. Oops, that's wrong. It should just say days, I'm sorry. Just days and miles, days and miles here. So that's the name of the variables. There we go. And that's right. So we're going to go down here and do our little thing here. And this will be a double set amount. And we're going to have an int called, we can call it anything. I'll just make a day. and int mile. These are different variables than the ones we're sending. Okay. Oh, I didn't have to put that there either. Just put this here. Run that across. Now we can come down and private static double set amount. And then we need an int for day and an int for mile. It's fine. Now, again, we're calling this and we're sending down a copy of these two here to our function down here. All right. We'll do this. Come on. There. All right. And then I'm going to go up here to the top. And I am going to go ahead and copy this. And I can go down here then. And right below this, I'm going to put a slash stat, and then control V, that in there. So I have them right there where I can see them. Something to that effect. Okay. I think that'll work. All right. So now I'm going to have a bunch of double variables. So my double meal is going to be equal to the day. Oops, I forgot to declare my. Okay. So here somewhere. Tab. All right. So double final daily meal is assigned 40.0 double. Oh, I got the final in the wrong spot. Okay, final double. Much better. And again, this program would need some tweaking, right? Because you don't, unless our company doesn't really care, if you in fact did have parking or a taxi, they just give you that money anyway. So. Let's make it this. That'll work. Okay. So now I want to be able to itemize my costs in my output. So again, if this is a function, it really can't return but one number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some class variables, and we're going to actually get rid of all this stuff on the front here eventually. And these are it's going to go up here instead, right by our scanner. So we're going to redo what we just did and go private, static, final, and daily meal is assigned 40. And then it's going to yell at us until we go down and fix that other part. Static, final, daily, parking is equal to 20. And private, static, final, daily taxi is equal to 30. Private, static, final, daily, lodging to 100. And private, static.
So do we not have to make it a final double?
Oh, yeah, it's got to be a double. You start putting a lot of stuff in here. There we go. Do, 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 do. And this one was vehicle per mile. It's equal to 0.57 there. And I think that's good. And now we'll just go whack that stuff down below. Because these variables can be seen in any one of these. So I really don't need these anymore. Okay. Or wait a minute. That's not right. Oh my gosh. See, I'm crazy, I'm telling you. Those are right. These up here need to just be this. Let's go with just private static. Get rid of that. 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 And then this will be meals. Parking. This will be taxi. We're going to get rid of those numbers after them too. This will be lodging. And this will be miles. It'll be fine like that. And we don't need that. And we don't need this. And we don't need this. Again, I needed something where I could send the calculations. Once the calculations are done, I don't need a place where my constants are going to be. So that should look like that now. Just get rid of that they're constants and just change them to the name of what we're calculating. So if we come down here now we're all good. So we're going to have, first thing, we're going to have meals. And again, see, it's already declared. And so this will be day times daily meal. And then parking will be equal to day times daily parking. And this one will be taxi is equal to day times daily taxi. And lodging will be equal to day times daily lodging. And then, what do I call that up at top? Miles value. Miles value will be equal to mile times vehicle per mile. And then we'll have something called double total is equal to meals plus parking plus taxi plus lodging plus miles value. And then we'll go ahead and return that. Okay. So then I can go back up to the top. And we could test that too if we wanted to. Okay, so we could do a plus and a space, and then a plus, and then amount. And we could run it and do a C. And we know all this stuff works. So we'll make it 10 miles or 10 days at 100 miles per se. So here's our 10 days, here's our 100. We come up with $1,957, which is probably pretty close to being right. Because 10 days times 100's 1,000 alone just in the hotel, blah, blah, blah. So that looks pretty good. And then we can go ahead and print our receipt. Okay, so here, so we can pretty much get rid of this now or just rem it out. Don't need it. And then we're going to go ahead and this one's going to be a void. So I'm just going to say print print reimbursement. And what do I need to send down there? Okay, I could do days and miles. So all I really need to send. Oh, an amount. Reimbursement. reimbursement days, miles, amount. Okay. So we'll be down here. And like I said, it's not sending anything back, so it's a void. Print reimbursement. Enter. And then we can do a private static void print reimbursement. And we're going to get int day, int miles, and double, we'll just call it total. There we go. And then so we'll have a system.out.printf. And then something to that effect. We'll put a /n here. And a /n here. All right, so /t, and then it'll be meals. And then it will be a $sign, or no, let's do this first of all. Days of trip. And then we'll just do this and a D and a /n. And then a /t. And then miles driven. And it'll be a %D/n. And then we'll have meals /t meals will be a $sign %.2 F/n. Then we'll have a /t parking, be a $sign %.2 F/n. And we'll have a /t parking taxi and a $sign %.2 F/n. Then a /t lodging %, $sign %.2 FN. /n. And then /t vehicle use %.2 F/n. And then a /t, something about there, /n. slash T. Will be a dollar sign, percent sign, 0.2 F slash N. And then we have, it'll be day, mile, and then meal, parking, taxi, lodging, keep forgetting what I called it up here, miles value, and total. This should be miles here. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Well, let's see what we got. So we run it. We choose C. And I'll just say 10 days and 100 miles. And we get, I was gone 10 days, drove 100 miles. So meals, I got 400 bucks. 200 is 600, is 900, is $1,957. 57 is 100 times 57 cents. Lodging was 10 times 100, $30 for taxis, $20 for parking, $40 for meals, etc. So that looks good. Okay. And we'll do a Q here and quit for a second. I'm going to go ahead down here, clean this up, just put in no code follows. And then I'm going to run up here to the top. And outside of my do loop here, I'm going to put my system out.println. Whoops. I want to slash n here. Something like that. Again, notice it's outside the loop, so it only runs when we quit. And once again, we can run it. And C and 1 and 0. So I get that. No vehicle use. I get 190 bucks. I hit Q and it quits. And says, thank you for using Acme products. Now we got this test module in here. Okay. So if keep going is Q, we do this. So now, how do I fix that for the T? Because it comes back up here. Okay. Well, the easiest way to do that would be something like this. What am I looking for here? Keep going. All right. So then, case C is going to be all this stuff we saw here. Control C, come here, Control V, put it in there. Case T, same stuff, Control V goes in here, except in days, I said we're going to be at what? I had something where I wrote what the test was. I thought. Oh yeah, here, 10 days and 1,000 miles. So this is going to be, all I'm going to do here is make this a 10 and this 1,000. And it should work fine.
Should that be under the T and not the C?
Oh crap, thank you. You were totally correct. And I was going to be gone 10 days and 1,000 miles. So that. And then it should come down to getting rid of all that. And then CT.
Breaks in.
We do need brakes, don't we? Why are all those lighting up? And then goes with that. This is here. So then we got, do we want to just make it default? I think that would work. Or don't we? We'll keep going. It's Q, not Q. Okay. I think we can move this in here. And we will put in, we'll just put it in here. Case Q. And I think we can move this in here. And let's see if she runs. So it looks like this now. Okay. And let's see if it does in fact work. Okay, so if I do a C, do a 10 and 100, that seems to work. If I do a T, it works with 10 and 1,000. And if I do a Q, thank you for using Acme, and it quits. Okay, so that's my song and dance. I will be coming back at 11, so I need a little break here. I will post this to YouTube as soon as it's processed. Any quick questions?
Yeah, could you go down to the print reimbursement?
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys at this spot because I need a little break before I start my 11 o'clock. All right.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
So what's going on? Hello?
I'm just trying to fix mine.
Okay, I'm going to log out and then I'll log back in at about 11.
Okay.